Hello, beautiful collective. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 p.m. right now. That's an excellent number for our beginning of our reading. I'm so happy you're here today. Thank you so much for joining me today on Unmasked Universe. My name is Storm. I am a psychic intuitive, and I'm here to deliver you your messages for today. So, thanks for being here. Thanks for contributing your energy to the channel. I really greatly appreciate it. Um, yeah, I can't state that enough. Without your energy, I would have nothing to do here other than read for myself. And that's good too, but I do really enjoy, actually, I love reading for the collective as well. So thanks. All right, let's get a general vibe check on the collective energy. Spirit, what is the general energy in the collective right now? What's the vibe? What is the general energy? Oh. Hmm. Okay, Spirit, do you want me to keep all of these? I know this one. Okay, yeah. Okay. I'm being told to take these two first and then these. Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so we have decision and fear, control. Some decisions and choices that you have made are based on fear and not heart-centered knowledge. Fear is your ego wanting control. Take a step back and make a responsive choice rather than a reactive one. Then you're able to see the truth of the best choice with a calm and centered manner. Stuck energy, alignment. You have stuck energy that can be caused by holding on to pain or having resistance. To let new energy flow in, huh? I'm going to reread that. You have stuck energy that can be caused by holding on to pain or having resistance to let energy flow in. Get grounded and reconnected to your body once again. Okay, all right. So, what I'm receiving as a download already for this is that there are aspects of trying to control the narrative. Oh, you know what? I haven't even lit my candle for my ancestors. Hold on 1 second. Since they are here with me, my holy ancestors and all my spirit guides, I always light a candle for them. Okay, so we're good to. All right, so yeah, so it looks like control is one of the things that is hardest to let go of. And sometimes it's really hard for us to figure out where this control even is, because sometimes our control comes from feeling like we're scared of what is coming, essentially. So fear of the unknown. And when something is new, and you've had experiences of upheaval either in the past or even in childhood, you have this conditioned response within your ego to want to control situations as much as you can. And so, uh, what you're being asked to do right now is to try to figure out where this control is coming from and how it's being utilized. How is your ego trying to protect you right now? What decisions are you making out of this fear? Because this card, decision and fear, means that your control of the situation is really hindering you at this time rather than letting it go, surrendering to what's going on, and trying to find peace in the unknown. Now, that can be difficult. Like I said, if you have a lot of programming or past conditioning that has told you that the unknown and the unsettled feelings of being anxious or fearful um, means that to you, like your childhood wounds, it means that, you know, that's unsafe, then your job here is to really communicate to your inner child and to your ego, that part of you who's trying to protect you, that you're okay, that the unknown is actually safe. Because you want to manifest the things that you really want to happen into your life, coming into your life, rather than the things that you don't want into your life. But if we allow control or fear to make those decisions for us, we hand over our power to fear and to control, then it takes us in a direction that we don't want to go in. It's the opposite direction that we want to go in, right? And then we get upset later on that we manifested something that we don't enjoy. So it's really important at this time to see how your fear or even your anxiety, which is fear, is like how you're giving your power away to that instead of calming your nerves, calming yourself, and allowing yourself to, once you're centered and calm again, to rationalize with that part of you that is trying to take over control of the situation. And now, when we have this stuck energy, like this is, oh, there's another card underneath this? No, no, that's just the way it's printed. Trippy. When we have this stuck energy with this card, it's really telling me that this is a pattern. So this is a pattern that's being asked to not only be recognized and accepted as such, that it is just fear, but to really start taking the reins and control of your own life rather than giving your power, your time, and your energy away to this fear, which then makes you feel like you need to control situations or control yourself or control others, whatever it is for you, rather than giving your power and energy away to that. You need to really just assess how that used to benefit you and get more in alignment with what you would rather be doing, like the decisions you'd rather be making, I should say, the life that you'd rather be living, and really align with that instead. And the way to do that is to investigate. Investigate where that fear is coming from. And then you have to, once you actually see it, accept it as part of your old self, the past version of yourself, and you know, be gentle with yourself. That's the biggest thing. Be gentle and compassionate with yourself, that these aspects of yourself are coming up from your childhood, from wounding, from past experiences. And this is an old version of you that's trying to die off. And Spirit's really wanting you to focus on that and to start aligning with the new thoughts and ways of thinking and being, rather than giving your power away to this, right? They want you to catch yourself in the moment that you are doing these things, or at least, even if it's a day later or 2 days later, catch yourself, and then be very be very supportive of yourself once you catch yourself, like give yourself props. Oh, I was giving my power away to fear. Oh, I was giving my power away to my ego. Oh, I was giving my power away to my wounded inner child. Um, like you wouldn't give your car keys to a 7-year-old and say, have at her, go enjoy driving. No, so you're not going to give the car keys away to your inner child to decide or make decisions in your life for you either, are you? It's not really a healthy situation, right? Because if you still have these wounds, then there are ways in which a child would navigate the world and coping strategies that are not healthy, as well as, mechanisms that they would use to protect themselves that aren't going to serve you in the future or now. And so this is something you need to consider when making these decisions, whether you're going to make decisions out of fear, and whether you're going to speak in a way that, is controlling the narrative, or whether you're just going to show up as you and allow that fear to subside by working with that part of your inner child. Um, and this, in essence, moves that stuck energy, moves that pattern, but you do have to catch yourself. And it's a process, step by step, right? Little baby steps. So every time you recognize that you're moving into this energy, then it is really important for you to own it. So accept it, own it, say, oh, I recognize I am doing this right now. And you know what? That's not healthy for me now. That did protect me at some point, but it's not healthy for me now. And I cancel and I rebuke whatever thought or energy I was putting out, or however I was making decisions. I cancel that, I rebuke it, clear, cancel, and delete or release, and then you reinstate your new programming, right? This is how I'd like to make decisions. I'm going to make decisions from a calm state. I'm going to make decisions that are from a regulated nervous system. I'm going to make decisions when I am at my best, not when I'm at my worst. And I'm going to stop giving my power away to fear. Instead, I'm going to give my power to myself and to love, right? Make decisions out of that space. So I guess I'll show you the cards too before I put them down. I guess I'm doing this backwards from the way that your perspective on the camera is. So I'm going to switch it up. Everything's baby steps. Even I'm learning with the camera and being up on the wall. It's so different. Okay, then we have protection needed, shield, betrayal, reveal, false narrative, discernment. Okay. So I'm not even going to read all of these because I already understand what the message is here. So there is a feeling in the collective that you need to protect yourself from any further betrayal, right? This is the story, actually. This is what this is. This is the story that what you're doing, acting out of fear and trying to control, is from this story of needing to protect yourself because you have been betrayed and you think that everybody is out to betray you, or whatever story you're telling yourself. This is a false narrative they're telling you. So Spirit wants you to know that the story you allow to feed this fear and control is the story that is hurting you right now. And so it's time to really evaluate that story. Whether you need to write it down or contemplate or think about it in any way. It's time to move past the past hurts, right? And that's why forgiveness has been such a big theme. If you have not been if you have not been practicing forgiveness for those who have hurt you or betrayed you in the past, this is part of the problem that's being asked in the collective to really address, because it's that which is limiting you from actually moving forward, right? Because you're creating this false narrative within your mind that really feeds this need to protect yourself, really feeding the fear and really feeding the fear of the unknown and the fear of surrendering. That's the biggest thing. When I see control, then the opposite of that is surrender, right? And so if your story is continuing to persist to tell you that you're going to be constantly in a state of victimization, then that is what you're going to bring into your life, right? That somebody is always out to get you, or that everybody in the world is, harmful, or that you can't trust anybody, or, right? So these are the things that you are telling yourself, which are supporting the fear. And so it's really about what Spirit's really wanting you to look at um, is this need for protection and the decisions that you're making out of protecting yourself, are they valid? Because if they're not exactly valid, and I'm not talking about anybody who's currently still in, say, a situation where you might be physically harmed or in danger. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking to those who are out of those situations and who are perhaps feeding the fear monger more than it needs to be. Because for whoever I'm picking up today, it seems as though you are already, like, you've already surpassed that, but there's an aspect of your child self or your ego that is being given this power, and it's all based on these false narratives, right? These are the things you're telling yourself. And that is because you have experienced betrayal in the past. It could be from one person specifically. It could be from everybody you've ever known. Make it fit however it fits for you. I mean, regardless, whatever betrayal or pain that you are holding on to is supporting the false narrative. And the false narrative is making you think and act out of fear and control that you need to protect yourself or shield yourself or need to be on the lookout, I just heard, or always worried or concerned, like waiting for the next shoe to drop or looking over your shoulder or telling yourself that you're not able to open up your heart to love, right? But this whole aspect of forgiving, I'm being told you're probably going to need to double down on that if you're doing it, or maybe the way in which you're doing it isn't the right way for you. So maybe explore different ways and see when you have an energetic release, when you feel lighter after doing it, right? You'll notice physical symptoms or tears or joy or just contentment, when you are forgiving. So if you're not feeling those things, then maybe it's time to change the way that you're doing it or um, change the way in which you or how often you are doing it. It could be many different things, but there is this false narrative that needs to be addressed because this is a level of discernment that Spirit is testing you on right now. And your ability to discern between what is fear and driven by your inner child or your ego, and what the truth is, and whether or not this protection that you're trying to protect yourself, whether or not that's actually true. Because if you're giving your power away here to your fear and to your inner child and ego, then that's actually going to harm you instead of you becoming self empowered and making decisions out of your heart space, out of trust, faith, and love. Then that's going to essentially um, betray yourself. You're betraying yourself in that way by doing that. And in turn, then you welcome in energies of betrayal. When we betray ourselves, rather than trusting ourselves and trusting our ability to heal and forgive and love and opening our heart to receive love, then, if we don't trust the world around us, the world is going to constantly tell you or reiterate that same message back to you. So I'll show you these cards here. And I already showed you that one. So I think I'm gonna get some shadow card, shadow work card. What's going to help the collective with this? I mean, I kind of already described most of what's going on in the shadow, but is there anything else that's hidden in the shadow that's going to help collective? Ah, okay. Dark reflection. When you look into the abyss looks back at you. Truth seeking liberation. So, what's really going to help you at this time is to see the truth of the situation. That whatever whatever pain you've experienced is actually what's driving the narrative of this fear, right? And so you're at a choice point where you get to decide, do I want to keep giving my power to that pain, or do I want to forgive and let go? Some reflection is required at this time, right? Dark reflection, because this is your own shadow that you're now projecting out into the world around you. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that, because everybody's story is going to be different and everybody's experiences are different. It doesn't mean that you let your guard down around people who have hurt you. You do still protect yourself, but by continuing to tell the same story, you're not taking responsibility for your own shadow. Instead, you're projecting your own pain back out into the world or the universe, which in essence isn't allowing you to see the truth of the matter. And again, like I said, everybody's situation is going to be different, but there is some truth that is wishing to be explored and seen and accepted. And some aspect of you, I'm hearing, that has been suppressed, cut off from you at some point. I'm seeing like pushed into the shadow. So there is an aspect of you that's been fragmented and essentially been denied access to you as a whole. And so there's some part of you that is looking for reunification with your soul, but it's going to require you to look at the truth openly, honestly, and not be afraid of what it is that you find in your shadow, because it's this part of your shadow that you're projecting outwards, creating this false narrative that you need to constantly be on guard or protect yourself or your heart. I'm seeing two people here. Is that a child too? And a child, yeah. So it definitely gives me the feeling that this is about love. And so, if you're protecting your heart, or at least you're believing you're believing that this is what's going on. Maybe you're creating false narratives about what's actually happening. Then this is the part that you're needing to look at. Why is it that I'm doing that, right? Why am I still living in this fear? Why am I still giving my power away to that? What is it within me that needs to be accepted and loved so it can be reunified, or so it can be taken out of the shadow and reintegrated within you? Okay, Spirit, let's get one more here for the selective. Same question. Yes. Okay, so it says hidden desires. Your deepest desires hold the seed of your potential. Longing, passion, fulfilled. Yeah, I'm really getting feeling that this has to do with love. Like your heart has, you feel as though your heart has been broken. I see it looks like shattered glass in front of her. That's what I'm seeing right now, at least, even though that's not exactly what it is. It looks like shattered. So I'm really getting this idea that there is some aspect of you that feels like you can never love again or trust again or um, that you can never open your heart fully, and Spirit's really coming through to say, like, there's this part of you that needs to be loved, that you need to pay more attention to in order to let go of these things, which will help you with this forgiveness process um, and moving on with your life. But, it seems to me that what you truly desire is love. I mean, don't we all? We all want to know what actual love is, right? And the only way to get to the actual love within partnerships of any kind, whether that's platonic or romantic, is to love and accept all parts of ourselves, including the dark parts that were deemed unfit to be a part of us while we were creating our our childhood experiences, right? So anything that we've been pushing into the shadow is really asking you to reflect on which parts are hidden that are actually something that you desire that you're pushing away. I mean, if you're pushing away love, even though you want love, but you don't trust it because of pain, then this is your indication to, pardon me, this is your indication that you truly do want love in your life. You truly do want people who resonate with you in your life. You truly want companionship. But you, this ties into, I think, the last reading I did too. But you can't have that unless you accept these parts of yourself that are creating this. And so it's really coming down to exploring what your true hidden desires are, not being afraid to look at, you're not sharing it with anybody, so you may as well look at that for yourself. What are your true hidden desires when it comes to passion, when it comes to connection, when it comes to your desires to um, whatever it is that you're wishing to create? I'm getting a big thing on like your heart, but your space, your heart space is what allows you to access higher levels of love, higher levels of compatibility, higher streams of consciousness, higher streams of evolution, as well as a higher ability to create the life that you desire. And so if you're blocking these aspects of your desire because of heartbreak or pain, then you're never going to bring those things into your life. I hope that makes sense. I'm feeling a little bit tongue-tied at the moment, so I'm going to clear the space. You shouldn't hear this because my camera cuts out the sound. So, all right. Yeah, so you're going to want to question your motives behind the decisions that you have been making. And do your best to center yourself and get yourself out of that. And then some reflection is going to be required in order for you to get to this root cause or understanding at least how these things are driving your life and how they're negatively driving your life. When I see all these cards together, that indicates to me that there is a very hurt part of you still that also needs possibly your forgiveness for holding on to that pain for so long. or there's an aspect of you that needs um, more comfort in the surrender process, in the surrendering, finding comfort out of chaos, finding comfort in peace, right? There's some aspect of you that is being hidden because of this shadow aspect of you. And it's preventing you from opening your heart to trust, to love. So let's see here. What do I feel called to? Yeah, I'm going to go with them. All right, Spirit. What can help the collective right now at this time? Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, that makes sense for what we were talking about. Find your calm. Find that happy place where you are centered, balanced, grounded. Practice mindfulness if you need to. Whatever you need to get out of that anxiety and try and hold it for as long as you possibly can. The longer the periods of holding this calmness, the better you're going to be at letting go of this once you've reflected on what it is for you, right? So it's really important right now for you to stay centered, for you to come back to yourself so that this fear is not driving or in the driver's seat of your life, making decisions you're going to regret later, right? And radiate your light. Okay. All right. Needed some water there. Beautiful card. These are just beautiful cards, period. So yeah, so this is really telling me that like in the collective right now, there's so much stress, fear, anxiety, a need to control, a need to know what's coming, scared of the future, you're not in your body when you're here. You're in your head and you're in your emotions or your future thinking or your past thinking. You're not in the present. So, what this is telling me is that you're really needing at this time to bring yourself back into your body, back into the present moment. And that's going to allow you to connect with, when it says radiate your light, like this is allowing yourself to connect to your heart space. Because when you, again, are out of your body, when you're not fully present within your body or in each moment, however that looks for you, then you are going to unconsciously give your power and control away to things that seem out of your control because they're patterns. Patterns aren't easy to break. It takes time and it takes consistency and it takes a lot of catching yourself, right? It takes bravery to face these patterns and strength, right? To continuously reprogram until the day that they're gone. And depending on how deep these patterns are, we have to be patient with ourselves and we have to be calm and understand that, if you're 80 years old, do you think that you're going to change a pattern in 1 month if you've had that pattern your whole life? Sometimes they take a long time, and sometimes going back to the same pattern doesn't mean you failed. Having to reflect on it again doesn't mean you failed. It just means that there is a new level of understanding coming forward based on all of the experience that you've been living and learning from. Now there's a new layer off of that onion that's been peeled away to show another aspect of that, which will give you another perspective. And so, Spirit's really asking you to get grounded, get in your body, get present so that you can find that light again and make better decisions from that and not holding any anger, resentment towards yourself. Don't beat yourself up at all for making any mistakes and going in this direction because you're human. You're here to learn, and mistakes are part of the learning process. So be gentle with yourself, please. Love yourself and accept that, you too are human just like anybody else, and you're allowed to make mistakes. You are allowed. And connecting with this part of yourself is going to be far more healing and discerning, helping you to discern what's right for you and what's not, more so than living out of fear, right? Living on Fear Street. All right. So, what can the collective do to find their calm? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Be enchanted. Okay. And source new fuel. Okay. So, what these cards are speaking to me right away is so I'm seeing like the third eye, being enchanted. So, really getting your energy, your light from a higher power than you. Sometimes this is part of well, all the time, this is part of an awakening process and journey, is to really understand that there are powers greater than us, forces greater than us that are working for us in our favor behind the scenes. But at the same time, many of us, have taken the physical journey alone without support, without anybody, right? And so we've been carrying all this weight on our own, which contributes to this fear and letting your heart be open. And so oftentimes we forget that, we're not actually alone, that spirit is all around us at all times, including your spirit team, like your passed on holy ancestors, the loved ones that you've lost that love you dearly, the ones who are working for you behind the scenes right now, the angels, the ascended masters, the fairy spirits, the elementals, the elements, Gaia, dragon spirits. There's so many different aspects of these beings working on our behalf who have been supporting us along this whole journey. And you're being asked to ensure that when you're getting into these spaces to calm yourself and regulate whatever your specific path or the way in the process in which you use to get there, that you're also asking for help, that you're also asking for energy. Me personally, I always connect with the earth every day. I ground myself. I connect with Gaia's presence. Gaia is the spirit who's looking after the earth, but is a separate entity from the earth itself. I connect with the earth itself. I draw energy exchange from the earth, from Gaia, and also from source and from the divine. I pull down these energies from the divine, from source, from my spirit team, and I exchange energy with them by leaving them offerings, by lighting incense in honor and respect of them, by doing all of these things in exchange. Like, you are not alone. And so, for those of you who are resonating with this, it may be time for you to start looking at new ways of bringing new energy into your life by creating these connections with your spirit team, with the earth, with whomever you resonate with as the creator, with whatever spirits on the earth or in other dimensions you resonate most with. I connect with them all because I believe we have a symbiotic relationship with all of them. However, that is my own interpretation of it. So you're being asked to allow yourself to open up more to spirit as well as your spiritual gifts and abilities. Like maybe start tapping into your own spiritual gifts and abilities, um, exploring them further. See what you can do. Are you good at healing? Are you really good with plants? Do you have a massive green thumb? Do people find that after speaking to you that they are really happy? There's all these beautiful gifts and abilities that we have. It's not just psychic gifts, but we have all of these beautiful blessings upon us. And sometimes we need to source our own new fuel from connecting more deeply with these gifts and talents that we have, as well as all of the things that are supporting us on this journey. So these cards are really defining like this darkness and this light, which is, I guess, why I was drawn to this deck specifically, is because of the difference in between them, right? The scale and the I can't find the word. The contrast between the two. And so this is where you've been living in survival mode, and you're really being asked to connect with the divine, connect with yourself, connect with spirit, connect with your gifts, connect with the earth, you know, find your resonance. This will give you a new sense of energy. This will give you the ability to reclaim some part of the shadow that is looking to be loved within you. And these hidden desires, by reconnecting not only with yourself and your heart space and maybe your gifts and abilities, it's going to reveal your truest hidden desires. And I am a little curious as to what those are. So let's see what those are. Which deck? Spirit. No? Okay. All right. What is the collective's truest desires? I mean, I got love was the biggest thing here, connection, which is love. What is the collective longing for most? What are their hidden desires that they long for the most, which are not currently being fulfilled? Oh, okay, actually, I'm going to get it from this deck. Hold on a moment. Hmm. What is the collective's hidden desires they are longing most for? In spirit, that one. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. So love is at the basis of this. So it says old conditioning release, right? So essentially, your deepest hidden desire is to liberate yourself. And what I'm hearing from spirit is by liberating yourself from this pain, this is going to be your greatest source of fuel in all aspects of your life. So this is not just going to be that you are having a heart opening, like your whole heart being open, not only to receive love, but to give love, to show up as your authentic self once and for all. But it's about healing on all levels. So, this new sense of liberation from these wounds and closing these chapters, forgiving yourself and others, is going to be the release that is going to heal the physical body, that is going to heal the aura, that is going to hold or heal the energetic field, that's going to heal your stored traumas in the body. Um, it's going to help you, like you have to work with your mind, right? Because it doesn't just heal like that. You have to recondition it. Old conditioning, right? That makes sense. But it's going to alleviate a lot of these patterns of self-sabotage for you. But you're going to receive this healing, which is going to energize you and give you power. So, what I'm getting is a lot of you in the collective are really drained, exhausted. You may be feeling like one day you're good, and the next day or next 3 days you're completely burnt out. This is because of this wound and what comes from that. That fear is putting you in a state of exhaustion and burnout because your fear puts you into almost like a fight or flight or um, gives you anxiety. So you're living out of that anxiety instead of in a peaceful, surrendered state. And so your deepest desire is, yes, to love, to let love in, to trust, which is love, right? It's loving yourself enough to let go of these conditions and these pains, and to allow yourself to fully step into who you were meant to be. So part of this, what this old conditioning is that um, your highest self, the highest version of you, wants to integrate fully into you or more fully into you at this point. And so you're being asked to look at the shame, the guilt, the blame, any cycles that no longer resonate with you, but you're still continuing to repeat, or any burdens that you're carrying. You're being asked to look at these things so that, and not just look at them, liberate yourself from them so that the conditioning of the past no longer drives your current experience and your future experiences. And this liberation is going to give you so much more back. And so there may be some aspect that you're fighting within yourself. Maybe you're fighting with other people. There's been a lot of a need to let go of control and surrender, but there's also been this energy in the collective readings of just surrendering the need to be right, and instead just trusting that the divine is here to guide you and here to get you onto the highest path. And that that can trigger these old wounds, right? When you start elevating and moving towards that new direction because it's new and you don't know how it's going to turn out, and your past is dictating your decisions now, or your memories, or your thoughts about what the future is going to be like, then this in turn is going to hold you back, right? It's not going to allow you to be in alignment with your highest self. All right, I have to get going. So, and it's 1, 2, 3 on the clock. Look at that. We started at 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're in succession again. 1, 2, 3. So I am going to just get a spirit message oracle card for you guys. Spirit, do you have any additional messages that you would like to share with the collective at this time, please and thank you? Thank you. Yeah, accept where you are at this moment in time. Only then can you begin to move forward. Be clear about your intentions. This makes it easier for us and the universe to help you. Doors will open unexpectedly. Be ready. Sometimes walking away is the only option, not because you want to make someone miss you or realize they took you for granted, but because you finally respect yourself enough to know you deserve better. Yeah. So that just reiterates the message of what we were just talking about. It's hard to let go, and it's hard to let go of old patterns and control and self-sabotage because of the pain that we're carrying, right? And we create these false narratives that keep us stuck in an illusion of being unsafe. And the divine wants you to know you are already safe. You've been highly protected through this process, and you are still protected. Um, and you're being asked to let go for a reason. And taking the higher path may look like you're losing more. We've talked about this throughout all the last readings, I think. It might look like you're losing something, but you're actually gaining the completion of a cycle. You're gaining um, abundance. You're gaining all of these things that you've dreamed of. But you have to learn how to do that, how to liberate your heart, how to forgive. Even when somebody has hurt you and you'll never receive an apology for whatever it is, whatever pain they've caused. You have to learn how to forgive and let go and surrender, and walking away from whatever it is that's holding you back right now, or the need to be right, right? And that's not just with whomever it is you're dealing with right now. This is an energy and a pattern and a cycle. And so you need to contemplate where you're doing that with other people, or where you're instigating competition, or where you are actually, competing, or where you need to get the last word, or you know what I mean? It's an energy that was conditioned into you, this pattern. And so this is part of the pattern of learning to walk away from it, period. Not just a person specifically, but in your life, period. Because you love yourself. You have enough self respect and love for yourself not to engage in that behavior anymore. That's what it's really about, is loving yourself, right? No matter how much you are being tested or pushed right now, stand your ground, push back, believe in your own integrity and self worth so much. Excuse me, I've got some confirmation burps. That's weird because that was very random. Believe in your own integrity and self worth so much that no one can get in your way. Have the confidence to move forward. You can and will do this. So, this is the pattern that they're really wanting you to also address, is that you no longer have to engage in this. It's a choice, right? You don't, this doesn't necessarily just mean with other people, this is within yourself, right? This is putting up a boundary with yourself, saying, hey, I said I am no longer going to give my power away to this, or my energy or my time to this kind of thing here, or this pattern, or this illusion, or whatever it is. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to self sabotage myself. This is taking back control of your life and ensuring that you're protecting yourself. And that's what this is. This is a part of, like, you need to protect yourself from yourself sometimes. And the illusion of projecting all of that onto other people as though they're the ones who are doing it still. And even if people have done it, it's because we have not put boundaries in place for ourselves to protect ourselves. And we all need to learn as light workers, star seeds, shamans, spiritual guides, whatever you resonate with, healers, we all need to learn that we need to protect ourselves first and foremost. We become our own protectors through self love, through boundaries, not just with others, but first with ourselves. What we're no longer going to tolerate and allow, and what we want to create. But we need to set these boundaries for ourselves first. That is self love. And it is through this self love that we then have the life of our dreams. But we need to be in resonance with the people, places, jobs, situations that will match that. And if you're not in resonance with that, then this is your opportunity right now. Spirit is really coming in with a correction today from what I'm seeing. And it's not to be hard on you. It's not because spirit is, punishing you or anything like that, because source and the divine is not here to punish. They are here to guide you, to love you back into alignment. But it's for you to get that little kick in the butt, possibly, all of us in the collective, so that we get back in alignment, because we kind of fell out of alignment, looks like, as a whole collective. So, um, however this resonates with you, I hope you enjoyed it. Take what resonates and fits with you. Take it as confirmation. This seems like very in the moment right now, this energy. So, if it did resonate with you, I would appreciate a thumbs up. It does help the algorithm out. And if you'd like to leave a comment, feel free. I really appreciate you stopping by today and contributing your energy to the channel. I love you all so very much. I hope you have an amazing weekend. I will be back tomorrow for the next reading. Okay, till then, bye for now.